All right, good evening. Welcome to the City of Columbus Tourism Commission. It is November 7th at 6:02 p.m. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Patrick, if you could take the roll call.
Yes. Milburn? Here. LaPlante?
Here.
Traxler?
Here.
Tome? Here. Namer?
Here.
O'Brien?
All right, thank you. This meeting was noticed in accordance with state statutes and public and local ordinances. Next thing I need to do is approve the agenda. The only thing I have on the agenda tonight is to consider the tourism budget. Unless you have any questions.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion second to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, agenda is approved. Next up, we have minutes from October 24th, 2018. If you haven't already, just take a moment to look over those and let me know if you have any questions or changes or whatever, concerns.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 24th meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor to approve the minutes from October 24th, say aye.
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 Opposed? Seeing none. All right, next up, citizen comments. I don't have anybody present tonight. So we'll dive right into old business. A, consider 2019 Tourism Commission budget. Patrick, I don't know if you want to kick it off.
I can do that. Okay. What we have, first of all, Matt Schreiber will be back next time. He's returning from paternity leave, getting back into the swing of things. So we all look forward to seeing Matt back here in front of you. But back to the task, the Tourism Commission budget is in front of you. The lines for the revenues are filled in. The expenditures, some of the things that have some, variability are left open for discussion tonight. Under tourism contribution to city, we're going to work with that line item name. It's a lot like what was for last year, where we had staff doing things. Matt comes here to staff the commission meetings that administers the agendas and information. We had JT helping with promotion website, looking into the tourism Visit Columbus page, that kind of thing. So in reviewing what some of those costs should be for next year and kind of hearing some of the things I've been hearing about how we should set this up, it was preferable to have a contribution line rather than a straight line showing, wages and benefits. So that's how that's set up right now, and that's what's before you to consider tonight. And like I said, the website, the tourism dollars, that really is a commission purview. So I kind of leave it up to you to talk about and determine what's appropriate. The allocation on the revenue side from room tax is a best determination of what we can expect. A little bit of a bump from last year. That's been the trend. There has been public discussion about a potential hotel next year, so if that happens, that could really change things, but nothing's certainly confirmed there. So we will rely on the current rooms in town for the revenues through the room tax there. So
Okay. The one thing, yeah, so I'm fine with that, the way you have that planned out there. especially with the fact that, there's, we do have a website now that is going to take maintenance. And, we'll have to see we don't know how much time that's gonna take. So, you do need to have something budgeted there, and Matt staffing the meetings as well. Plus, with another hotel coming in, I don't know how much more work and effort might Matt or staff might need to do to work with them and make sure everything is, up and running.
The kind of on that vein, with staff and everything, we've got a situation where we've got people that serve and utilize a spectrum of activities within the city, be it website, social media, communication, and they touch a lot of different departments, but significant to the city's efforts in promotion and tourism is in that realm. So rather than having separate people address those things, makes just sense to have the one person, but then contribute to what makes a position whole, so to speak. So,
Right, and right now with expected revenue, what, 33,000?
mm-hmm.
So it's a third of the current expected funds that are coming in. And we also have a balance at the year end of about $45,000. So, Stacy?
I just have a question about the contribution to the city. So the wages, how is that calculated? Is it broke up evenly between all of the efforts that the staff put in between the various departments, or was some of this taken off of 2018 hours that were put into different commissions and parts of the city?
It's looking into the effort, the trend effort. It's not equal. It's doing our best to determine about what percentage of time would be devoted and needed for this versus, say, the cable or the general fund. So trying to best determine what share of time would be needed here.
JD?
Patrick, just for clarity, because someone may ask me this question. Up here in the room tax fund, it says 70% of collected. Is that 70% of the total collections, and only 70% come to the Tourism Commission, or is that 70% and there's 30% that haven't been paid? Could I get some clarity on that in case someone asks me? And then if that's the case, where's that other 30% of the money go?
70% is our statutory requirement to use room tax on marketing and promotional efforts, and that's what that is. The remaining 30%, it's purview of the city, but it's been allocated to CDA and Matt's efforts in the economic development, and that's what's been determined. The final budget for 19 hasn't been approved yet, but that is what was done last year.
Okay, thanks for the clarity.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments or questions about the contribution to the city of $11,050? Mike?
I guess just changing the line item description is most important to me, because if it's a contribution to the cities, we have a statutory requirement that money is spent on tourism, promotion, and marketing, that it can't just be given over to the city, because it's not part of that 30%, it's part of the 70%. And another point under expenses, the website line item, that's the contribution towards Civics Plus, correct?
Right. Yeah.
I don't want that to be assumed that this is the tourism website now that we have one, if you get what I mean. That's just our contribution towards the total package for Civics Plus, and then we've got our own website
Yes.
that's attached to that. So
Right.
maybe we just call that contribution to city website for clarity down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be clarified.
Okay. because that was gonna be one of my questions when we move down, so thank you, Mayor Tome. So I guess on that note, I do want to talk about that website line a little more. If we did need to do more work on the new tourism website, what line, where would we take that money out of? If we need to buy different website things. I'm not technical, so I don't know. But if they needed, to upgrade something, or where would we? So that wouldn't really fall under marketing and advertising.
Correct. So if you're saying, other than like the individual person doing anything, it'd be for services and products.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
had to pick, before, do we want, what is it called? WordPress or use Civics Plus, and we went with the WordPress, and that costs a certain amount of money. And if we do something different in the future, or we add on, I know you can make WordPress better by spending more money, I think.
Yeah.
Where would that be allocated? So I don't know if we would need to have
Maybe.
like a general line for that kind of thing. I was trying to look do you know how we do it on other budgets?
So I think in other departments, it's more like professional services, under that umbrella.
Okay. I think it might be appropriate to have a line like that. Well, and like the cable fund has video and website support. So I don't know if that would be a better line. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, besides website and, electronic means, would there be other needs for the commission? There's no like physical buildings or anything that, but it's really advertising and those kind of efforts which tie to electronic.
Well, like, I think earlier in the year, the city came to the commission looking for money to help purchase a new computer. 3 years down the line, what if whoever's managing this needs another new computer or an
Yeah.
upgrade? Like, right now, the only line we have to spend money out of is marketing and advertising, essentially. So I think we need to build this budget more similar to other budgets.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would suggest that we add one line to address those, even if it was called miscellaneous expenses or, things like that. I would believe that Tourism Commission would need to approve prior, but at least you'd identify a funding source and resource to address those.
Yeah. Mayor Tom?
I agree. I think having a few more expense lines just to break things out would help in the future, since the Tourism Commission has autonomy and funding. If something comes down the line, I guess if we decided we wanted to not meet here and rent out a building, we could do that. So we should have a place for those expenses. If we needed to buy our own computer for the Tourism Commission for some reason, and we decided to do that, there's nowhere that you could take this out of the budget. So I think at least having a miscellaneous or products and services line or something like that just helps us budget better and manage the money when we have those expenses, if that should happen.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because it's the item down there, portable restrooms, that spurred a lot of questions. Where does that fit in? You see, is that marketing, advertising, or what is that? I mean, I really believe it's marketing, advertising, event, related, but it's kind of an odd thing, doesn't fit in there very well, so.
Yeah, that would be outside the grant process for outside events. You know, like the horse events or whatever, those could be lumped into a grant, but if it's the holiday train, it's not, it's more of a partnership with the community and the city, so then I think you make a good point, JD. Yep.
All right, so let's go down the line here with the expenditure. So we'll start with website contribution to the city website. We're gonna rename that, and we need to put in a source, an amount there. So do you know why that went up over 2017? And what we budgeted for 2018?
We budgeted the 125.
Yeah, we're at anticipated 595.
Could that have, and I'm afraid I don't know, but could that have been the additional expense for the WordPress?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because is truly the contribution $125? And we just put it on that line because we didn't have an appropriate line?
That,
All right. So I would say then we keep that at 125 if that is truly, or did that cost go up because we added another, oh no, it was WordPress, so it wouldn't have been on Civics Plus. So I would keep it at 125. Does anybody have any concern with that? Okay. Next up, request granted for tourism dollars. Kind of the standard we've been using is 5,000. As you can see, we're not really hitting that, but I think it's safe to keep it at that. One thing I would note is most of the money we've been spending is for the horse fair, and that has moved. They're now the Midwest Horse Fair, and they're in like Kenosha or somewhere, or Mequon, or I don't know, somewhere else. Where do you know where it was, JD?
Elkhorn.
Elkhorn, sorry. I knew it was somewhere. So I would still think we should keep it at 5,000 as a, hope that we're going to be able to bring people in and do something. But just something to note that they won't be coming to the city in the near future for that. Mike?
I'm not sure if we're gonna have any more expenses or requests this year, Patrick. I don't know if like any of the holiday train stuff is coming from there, if that's marketing and advertising that we approved.
yeah, that came out of marketing and advertising. Because, it's really, I think it's an event that is figuring itself out, and, there's a number of different groups coming together on an event. And really, there hasn't been outside groups or partnerships that have signaled a need for grant dollars. So I think you're right. I don't think we're going to see any more applications coming through till the end of the year.
You know why that's estimated at 5,000 then?
I think just because I think,
Usually Kim has a reason for having that on there.
yeah,
Like she knows something is in the works and is going to be paid, so.
yeah. I didn't discuss that with her, but
What?
It's-
I'm sorry.
It's not really relevant towards our 2019 though, is it? I mean, this is just projected what we're gonna spend by the end of the year. None of those numbers, are really anything set in stone. It's
Right, but
very-
it would help us, I guess, determine if we really should still keep it at 5,000. It's a good. I don't even know who else is asking for money. We haven't had anybody other than the horse fair.
The main reason I'm bringing it up is that if we don't have any requests this year, that we should carry over 2,750 that's unspent, because that gives us a little bit more room to expand those expenditure roles, if you know what I mean? If
Yes.
it's not spent, it's just gonna go into the fund itself. If that makes sense. Then
Yeah,
we're
it
not-
does.
We're not budgeting $5,000 in fresh dollars, we're utilizing $2,750 out of that for the next 5,000.
Was, from history, has the commission received requests from the horses in the park, the winter event? And maybe that was what was anticipated?
I don't think so.
Although that, I think, is more after the first of the year,
Yeah.
but still winter, so.
I don't think they
no.
did.
Okay.
I might have a little, the explosion used to come in really late with the request. It was, well, they came in the request early, but then by the time they got the information, it was always at the end of the years, the big softball tournament. The two big ones are always horse thing, classic or whatever, and then explosion, and then there were a couple smaller ones.
Yeah.
But that's why I think that's probably there from historical, so.
Yeah. So you're saying Maritime carry over 2,750, but still maintain that line at 5,000?
Yeah, we'd be budgeting 2,250, carrying over 2,750 to come to the total of 5,000.
Okay.
Unless Kim tells us something otherwise, or, you know, if there's things that haven't been paid out yet, but I don't think there would be. We
I
can
don't think
adjust that
so.
if we need to.
So it is. Like, you want like a solid 2,750 or the difference between?
Yeah, it's just rounding.
Okay, I thought so.
So then we would need to budget 2,250.
So, well, sorry. So we're gonna, I mean, we technically would be carrying over 2,779. And we'd only need to budget, you know, whatever the difference was, 2221?
2221.
Yeah. Just to make it, we don't have to put the extra $29 or whatever it is. All right. Is everyone good with that? Yeah, all right. Next up, I have marketing and advertising. This line's kind of grown over the last few years, specifically because of the marketing efforts with the holiday train. 2018, we budgeted 20,000. We've spent 3,700 so far, and estimated 10 at the end of the year. But does anybody recall how much we just said he could spend? It was like
3,500.
okay, so we're probably even coming in. I know, and Matt's not here, but I know Matt has a plan he's working on that I think is going to require more money. So I would be probably more inclined to keep it at 20,000, because I know he has a general, big plan to market Columbus, and at some point, I don't remember if that's why we kept the 20,000 or put the 20,000 in the budget this year or not. I just can't recall. But I mean, anybody have any thoughts on that?
This is just probably a category to put the money in, so we can budget it somewhere. I mean, if we're trying to balance anticipated revenues, I think it probably just gets put into that bucket because there was nowhere else to do it, so that's just my assumption. Because in 2017, we spent $19,225, and then we budgeted $20,000 the following year. So there was nothing telling us we were going to spend 10 times as much. I think it just got put into that bucket. That's just my assumption.
Yeah, okay. I guess it would be helpful if we had any, a thought or an idea what Matt plans on doing for
Yeah.
marketing.
He's talked to me about a marketing plan, but
Right.
not anything beyond that in terms of what the resources were gonna be needed for it.
Okay.
And Matt came on board, I can confidently say Matt didn't come on board last year until after this budget was approved.
Okay.
But I know that he's got ideas and would like to propose something to the commission.
All right. So what do we do? What are you guys thinking for an amount for that line then? I mean, if we,
$19,126.
what is that number?
That basically gets us to where we are at the bottom for total expenditures of 22,030 with the changes that we've made, unless you wanted to take some of that and break it out into different line items.
I was gonna suggest the next line item be that miscellaneous expense, and I was just gonna suggest like $500 as a
Sure.
placeholder.
That's just, according to my calculations, I don't know if they're right, that's 19,126 what is what's left over up to this point for marketing and advertising. Or do 18,500 and then do $626 for the miscellaneous new expenditure line?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we have to capture that, and we have really no idea how much to
No,
even
yeah.
think about for the miscellaneous expense, but I think we need to get it in there.
You still have the fund outside of the annual budget. If something big comes
Right.
along anyway, it's just having something to start with, and having another expense line, I think, is gonna offers some more flexibility.
So 18,000. I know, hold on. So we're at 19,126.
Yep.
So put 626.
And 18,500.
Yeah. Okay. 18,500. Okay. Anybody else have any?
So, Michael, I worked from the revenues and took off everything we've listed in terms of budget, and I come up with 1,184 left.
Did you figure the carryover part? Maybe I messed that up.
I put in the 2221 as that line. So,
Maybe I did that backwards. You're probably right.
okay, yeah. 11,050 for the contribution, 125 for the website, 2221 for the carryover on the tourism grants to bring a total budget of 5,000, then 18,500 for marketing and advertising, leaving 1184, which is products and services, miscellaneous that can, help with, you need an expert for something, technical, or an extra doohickey to help you spread the word. Bob can sell you a wrench at True Value to help.
To help?
Those are government wrenches, though. They're going to cost $1,100.
Gotcha. Okay. Is everyone good with this proposal?
Yeah, those numbers make sense. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
So do we then need to have someone make a motion and to approve it?
Yes, that would be good.
And what's the total amount that we're,
So
Or just, we don't need to list the amount, we just need to say approve the,
Yeah, yeah, but what is budgeted in terms of expenditures would be $33,080. Although, yeah, 3380. We have extra because of the carryover, but
right, and we can just, that, yeah. That'll just have to build up. Yep. So, okay, so I'd entertain a motion to approve the Tourism Commission Fund 250 as we just went through. I don't know how you want to word that, but. You got that, Patrick?
I got it.
Okay. I have a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay. And a motion and a second. We need you to take a roll call on that one.
I can do that. O'Brien.
Aye.
Namer.
Aye.
Tome.
Aye.
Traxler.
Aye.
LaPlante.
Aye.
Milburn.
All right.
6-0.
Budget is approved. Next up, adjournment. Need a motion.
Can I say something before we adjourn?
You know what? You sure can. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I attended a historic meeting up in the old National Bank building for the historical people. And they were talking about possibly doing a program of some kind. And I told them that about our group, that there might be funds available depending on what they came up with. And one question, we had a conversation, and one question they came up with, could all the nonprofits and other groups that might be interested in coming to this group for money have a meeting so that what we do here could be explained to them? Because they had no idea that there might be some funds available if they come up with a new program. And I know that other groups have kind of indicated that they don't know really what we do and how we disperse the funds. So maybe we should either get the word out or have a meeting and invite these groups and let them know that we do have funds available for new programs or ones that fall under what we're doing here. So would that be up to us to create a gathering and explain what we do so that the people know? And how would that be set up then? It's something to think about. Maybe we could do it over the winter when things are slow.
Another opportunity, Bob, if you know people from organizations that maybe have interest or ideas for things, we do the citizen comment here. That's a great opportunity for them just to come in without scheduling something special to give us their idea, and then maybe we can kind of help guide them and inform them of, their idea and whether it would fit through the lens of what we're doing. But I think that, yeah, we do have funds available for the right thing. I think that they just need to understand that it is marketing and a tourism effort.
Correct.
And as long as they're trying to draw people into the community from outside, that they would certainly qualify. But I would just try to encourage people to come to the meeting if they have time to attend. But I wouldn't be opposed to trying to have a tourism summit. I think we've tried to do that in years past, and it hasn't been greatly attended, so.
Yeah, I was just also gonna add, I think that's fine. I also think that if they, can't make it to a meeting, that they, that's why we have Matt, and Matt can walk them through, how the program works. And maybe we get, maybe we do, ask Matt to meet with these folks, on our behalf, or, we can attend or whatever, but, I think this needs to be organized and started, either coming in here, or we can get it on public record, where then that can spur the conversation into having this type of gathering. But yeah, I think in general it's a good idea, but I think Matt needs to be, one of the leaders and getting all that together and communicated on behalf of the city. Yeah, I
Thank
like
you.
it.
Maybe getting some information on the tourism website about that as well, if people are interested in looking at potential grants.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, I think that's on the city website, the application is, but maybe not on the tourism website. I'm
It
not
was
sure.
not.
Okay,
It was not.
okay,
Okay.
so,
Yeah, and maybe just a little bit of a outreach could take place, you know, I mean, I know Matt would, you know, walk people through the process very clearly, so. And then if you know people, Bob, from the Historical Society, send them Matt's way too. Certainly a good step.
Yeah. And I think this is also part of what Matt wanted to do with, you know, marketing Columbus, you know. So I think we're on the same page here, and I think this is something that we'd all be interested in. Anything else from anybody up here?
Sure. I got just a little positive note. John Walcott told me that his room is filled for the holiday train, and he sent 4 families to the Super 8. So it's a direct response and direct, you know, it fits right in with the mission here, just so you know.
That's excellent. Okay. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All right, motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned.